Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol SENS, Sensonics Holdings Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And all I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. It helps out the YouTube channel and the YouTube algorithm to let me know that you appreciate the time and effort I put into these videos for you guys to see and be equipped for the next trading day. Now, after we do this chart analysis, I have another chart and another ticker symbol to share with you guys that I've been discussing for 2 weeks now over at the Patreon. I've discussed it here in the YouTube channel towards the end of the videos, and a lot of people sometimes overlook it because they watch the chart analysis and they're not aware of the opportunities that are set before them after in the second half of videos. So a lot of times they watch the chart analysis and leave. Now this ticker symbol is up $13 as of its highest point since I mentioned it, and right now sitting $11 above it. So we're going to analyze it and see what I believe moving forward, how it's reacted, and how we caught it and when we caught it. So stay tuned for all that information towards the end of this video. Now, SENS Sensonics Holdings Inc. is definitely a stock that I would say is long term, but you also want to keep in mind long term with high risk. But with high risk comes high reward. And the other thing too is high risk could lead to possibly high losses. So that's something that a lot of people don't like to say, but I am very honest, okay, and blunt about that. Losses are a real thing. We can't ignore it. And we need to remember that this is a penny stock. Now, where did this penny stock come from? Well, it came from down here. So when you really think about it, through all the volatility, it's holding itself up pretty well. And the goal here for us to see this look like a very healthy, opportunity is that from here, and we look out a few months from now, right? We go ahead and look at this a few months out, you could see it continue in that direction. Now, is it going to just go in a straight line in that direction? No, it's going to probably sit around, jumping up and then coming back down and jumping up and coming back down, and then all of a sudden jumping up, down, jumping up, and then all of a sudden we have a point right up around here at this area, and we'll be able to see it just like how we could see here in the chart that from this point to this point the stock is holding itself up pretty well. And then we'll remember 6 months ago, oh, we're from this point to this point, it's been holding itself up pretty well. Now I did run up pretty fast, so it was bound to cool off, but the cool thing is that this has cooled off above $2, showing strength from where it came from. A lot of institutional investors loaded up, and their technology, obviously the biggest catalyst we're waiting for is the continuous glucose monitor, 180 days to get FDA approval, right? Those are like the biggest things. So right now, this is where we sit, and this is what we want to know towards tomorrow. So the lowest point before the run is right here at 254. That's our support. We are in tug of war zone, and the 50-day moving average is 261. Anything below 261 is bearish. If this continues going downwards, you want to watch for this support here at 254 and see if the bulls can reappear before it gets there, or are the bears tearing it down fairly fast. Now, the bulls definitely need to break through the 50-day moving average, but their true goal is the highest peak of the day, and that's the big resistance right here where there was a big rejection that's pulled it down, and that's 264. The bulls need to break through that, turn it into a support so they can reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and pull upwards. Now, if you're a first-time viewer and investor, don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell, share this with your friends and community, and guys, don't forget to smash the like button to let me know you watch this video, and especially before jumping into this other stock, because I'm sure you're going to like this video once you see all this information, and it really helps the channel. It supports me, and it lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into these videos. So let's go ahead and jump into this other chart that you really want to put on your watch list moving forward, whether it pulls back or continues to run up, to go ahead and look for an opportunity and make your own rational decisions as investors. Stay tuned. So the ticker symbol that we have in front of us, I've talked about it several times in the last 2 weeks. I've talked about it over at the Patreon. I've talked about it here on YouTube towards the end of the videos more than once. I've even talked about how a lot of investors towards the point of the end of this video, which is this section of the video, investors are dropping out of the video, especially new investors that are coming across my channel and never have seen my channel. They just think about the chart analysis and they don't know about the second half. Well, for those of you that have made it to this point, you're going to learn something new. But I do want you guys to be aware that if you want to get the opportunity to get in on opportunities like this one as early as possible, you can join me over at the Patreon. The link is down below. And I now have a Discord chat room as well, where we talk about speculative plays with opportunities in the short term, right? Daily plays, swing trades, and so forth. So if you want to join us, the links are down below, and the slots have gotten filled up pretty fast. I think the first tier is already filled up, and the second tier has very minimal slots left. And then there's other tiers as well with upgrades as you go along, and you'll see that over at the Patreon. But it's ChargePoint, CHPT, ChargePoint Holdings Inc. This is the stock that I've been talking about since way back over here. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, I had watched how this stock reacted, how it brought itself back up, and this was the date and weekend that I talked about ChargePoint, okay? If you've seen this before, you already know what I'm talking about. If you're a Patreon member, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But stay tuned because I'm going to talk about how I feel about this chart. So CHPT, everyone focuses on the EV car makers, but forget to focus on the source that gives the EV cars the fuel and drive it needs to perform its purpose. And I talked about how it touched $20 recently in the most recent pullback. I circled in the chart and it was pulling downwards. If it reached $20 or below, it was presenting itself as an opportunity. And from that point forward, you had to pay a close attention. Now, I mentioned this on the 21st. Now, ChargePoint isn't the industry leader, but it's going to get its piece of the pie. That's exactly what I said. So the 21st was right here. This is the weekend. And the 22nd, the stock shot up to $24.94 from $23 and some change. Every single investor had the right to say, yo, like, I thought this was pulling back. Well, all it took was 3 more days, and it fell down closer to $20 to the point that it actually fell below it at $19.57. That was definitely a sign to pay very close attention and make a rational decision based off of your research and information. And that's exactly what happened. And we saw that. We caught that. If this was to have broken through $20 and go lower, I was going to get even more bullish, right? Now, this stock, I wasn't expecting it to run as fast as it did. I did expect it to get closer to 25 in the short term, but there was a lot of compounding effects that brought this one up to the point where it's at now. And a lot of investors are excited to the point that I have here a screenshot of one of the messages today, earlier today. I asked for permission to do this, blocked out everyone else's name, blocked out the person's name, and this is their message. Hey, bro, I bought the stock CHPT to try out your alerts, and I'm up 12%. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I had been on the red for so long, and I know one of the things to become a good trader is to learn to control one's emotions. That is very true, and that's what we're going to talk about in the stock market and emotional intelligence series over time. That's what I plan on doing. I was feeling a little discouraged, not even going to lie. LOL. And although I know the whole market was down as a whole, since I started buying the ones you have been learning, I'm starting to see green again. I'm very grateful, and this is only the beginning. Thanks, bro. I'm glad I found your YouTube page, and now I'm in your Patreon and Discord. I really like that you communicate well and respond as soon as you're able to. Like I said the other day, communication is key. I try to get back to everyone's messages like right away, but what I'm really excited about here, it's not the fact that CHPT, I saw the opportunity and it's green and it's up. It's not even about the stock. It's about the fact that someone that was feeling discouraged, like anyone could, right, is now motivated again, right? And they're starting to see green. They're also realizing that one's emotions need to be controlled. Those are all the things that we're doing here in Invest for Tomorrow. Not only on the Patreon and the Discord, but also here on the YouTube channel. I always remind you guys, right, to stay focused. Control your emotions when I do analyze charts and stuff. So this right here is really exciting to see this type of behavior from members in the group, and it makes me happy to see that not only am I helping others, not only am I motivating others, but also the purpose and goal is being fulfilled for Invest for Tomorrow. So if you want to be a part of that, you can join us. Now, how do I feel about CHPT? Well, CHPT had a nice cool down here, and it's actually consolidating right now, and it's sitting at $30. I think this still has room to run. It might have to cool off again, maybe, just maybe, or consolidate sideways, and this is going to be able to run up towards the 40s, okay? Just got to give it some time. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it will go through some volatility now. We saw such a fast spike here. I mean, we caught this one literally as it was falling. I told everyone at least $20 to watch it. We were able to caught it down here at the $19 mark for those that were watching it closely. And as it got closer to $20, at the end of the day, it's up a total amount here of literally almost $13 since we went ahead and stated to pay close attention for the opportunity. And that's what we do. We focus on opportunities, even when it doesn't make sense, because every single investor could have been like, yo, it's going up. You said this was going to get closer to $20. Now, I won't be right every single time, but trust me, I take a lot of time and effort to make these videos of chart analysis, and I love charts, and I analyze charts, and when I see opportunities, I look for the details that are signaling that opportunity to get closer to that. And if it doesn't get all the way down to 20 or 19, I mean, even if it touched 21 or 22, you as an investor have to rationalize, okay, this is pretty close to $20. It's bouncing back up and consolidating. Let's say it did this a little bit higher up here. You have to decide and say, okay, this is looking like an opportunity. It might not hit $20, but this is the closest we got. And then it will take off anyways, right? So those are the things that I like to do, prepare and equip every single investor. And not only did I talk about it in the Patreon, I talked about it literally on the 26th here on YouTube. So on YouTube, towards the second half of the videos, every single investor had a chance almost as equal to the ones on Patreon. Then I talked about it again at $26, okay, here on YouTube. And I said there's still room. And look, it went up to 32. That was a total amount of $6. So if you missed out on the full run, you still got a nice 50% chunk of the run. Now, could this continue? I think this does have room to go upwards closer to 40 plus, but that might take some time. That's not going to happen overnight. And what I'm really looking for here now is consolidation or a slight pullback again like the one we saw, but closer to it or a little bit below it before it shoots up again to newer highs. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.